Hello everyone, this is Dr. Romero, your instructor for CSS-106, Succeeding in College here at Eastern Gateway Community College for the fall 2019 semester. Welcome to week 2. I wanted to make a video for this week to bring up some things that have come up via email, questions that students have sent my way, some trends that I've noticed, and then just to kind of go over some of the things that you are to expect this week in terms of coursework and course assignments. So let's get right to it. I'm going to start first by talking a little bit about what this week is going to entail in terms of coursework so that you guys can prepare for that. And then I'm going to talk about some announcements that I have to ensure that you're successful over the next week and moving forward. All right, so the content for this week is going to focus a lot on various styles of learning. We're also going to be focusing on methods for note-taking and taking notes effectively in classes, and also ways to prepare for exams and tests now and in the future. In the first folder of week 2, you're going to be unpacking the various learning styles that exist, and you'll be able to read through texts, you're going to be able to watch videos. One of the things that I want to push you guys to do is to be sure to reflect on the type of learner that you are as you're going through these texts and you're watching these videos. Think about, what kind of learner am I? Now, some scholars might argue that you can only be one kind of learner, and I would counter argue that I think that you could be a learner of various different styles, and that's dependent upon the courses you might be taking, professor styles, activities you might be participating in, the expectations that are placed in front of you, and your learning environment. And I think that learning style changes dependent upon whether we're thinking about learning in a formal setting or an informal setting. So I want you guys to consider all of these things and think about these things as you're reading and looking at videos throughout the week. The second folder in the week 2 major folder is going to go through some readings and videos on how to take effective notes in class, as well as how to prepare for tests and exams. So I realize that some might think that these are some silly things to be going through or silly things to be learning about in class. But trust me, going through how practical all of these things are is going to be immensely helpful in future classes. And that's what I want to make sure that I reiterate week after week, whether it's in writing, in the intro per folder, or if it's in videos. I want to elaborate how important it is that the tools and techniques that we are going through in this course are going to be essential for you as you progress through your college career, and not just in this particular class. So that's why I push for everyone to take these readings and videos and just coursework seriously, because I think it is very important. And again, I wish I had something like this or even a seminar that could teach me the intricacies to being a good student, because starting off my college career at a community college, in fact, was not necessarily the easiest. And I think having taken a course like this may have helped me a little bit more and would have pushed me a little bit further. Okay, so for this week, you have 3 deliverables. That means you have 3 assignments that you have to complete. The first task that you'll need to do is your weekly discussion board post. You're going to find this under the folder with all of the note-taking and exam prep materials. This week's discussion board requires you to do a little bit of outside research, so plan ahead. I want you to calendar your time for this week, and I want you to be sure that you start it sooner than later. As a reminder, your initial discussion board response is due by Friday of this week and should be no fewer than 150 words. Again, should be no fewer than 150 words. And it's due again by Friday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Your 2 peer responses should be no fewer than 100 words each per response, and that's due on Sunday by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've gotten emails about due times, and we're going to stick to Eastern Standard Time every week. Okay, the second task that you will need to complete is a writing assignment entitled Learning Strategies and Learning Styles. So this is essentially a reflection that's going to allow me as your instructor to learn more about who you are as a learner. But it's also going to give you the opportunity to explore the intricacies of your own learning styles. So some of these learning styles you may not have even known about prior to this week's lessons. So be sure to deeply reflect, use the content and the course materials from this week to support the claims that you make in your paper. The guidelines for the paper are in the Week 2 LoudCloud folder and should be completed on Microsoft Word. Please upload your final paper in the appropriate turn-in folder by Sunday. That's this coming Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, your paper is due on Sunday. Use evidence from course materials to support what you're saying in your paper, and it's due by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday. On that note, one of the things that I want to make sure you all do is please, when you're submitting papers, and this does not go for discussion questions, you don't have to do this for discussion threads. When you're writing a paper, please put your first and last name, instructor's name, course name and title, and the date on the upper left-hand corner of your paper so that I know who the paper is for and what class you're in. As a reminder, I'm teaching 5 classes this semester. That's over 260 students. So that is very important for me so that I can ensure that I am grading your work appropriately. Okay, that moves us to the last assignment for this week, and that is the Module 2 quiz. Just like the Module 1 quiz, this quiz will consist of a variety of questions. You only have one attempt to complete this quiz, so please be sure to read through all of the course content carefully. Watch all videos in their entirety prior to taking this quiz. However, this quiz has to be completed by this coming Friday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Any quizzes completed after that time will be counted as a 0. So please be sure, again, that you're calendaring your time, you're scheduling your time for the week so that you complete all of your assignments on time. So that is that with regards to course content for this week. I want to talk about some general trends and just make a few announcements that I want to make sure you guys are aware of as you move forward. So the first thing I want to talk about is discussion board posts. As I was grading a lot of discussion board posts this weekend, I realized that many were far, far, far below the word count requirement. I was generally, again, kind of kind, so to speak, in taking points off for word count and short responses because it is the first week of classes, and I know that we're learning how to do things in this course and different professors have different expectations, so that's why I want to clarify. If these trends continue with a low word count, the point deductions are going to become a lot larger, so I want you guys to please be careful. So again, initial responses to questions have to be no fewer than 150 words in total, so no fewer than that. Your peer responses have to be no fewer than 100 words per peer response. Even if you respond to more than 2 peers, 2 of those many responses have to be no fewer than 100 words. It cannot be multiple responses that equal 100 words. So please keep that in mind. One of the other things that I noticed as I was reading through a lot of your discussion posts was that there were a lot of grammatical, mechanical, and spelling errors. So please be sure that you're going back to check your grammar for your mechanics and your spelling before clicking that post button. That is super duper important. Your writing, whether it be in discussion board posts or on a paper, should be using standard academic English writing. And so just go back and make sure you check your work prior to posting. Please be sure to differentiate your responses. So do not write one large post answering all of the questions. I've seen a lot of folks in one thread just kind of writing multiple paragraphs responding to the various questions that are asked. So what I mean by differentiating your responses is just add a title to each answer so that they don't bleed into one another, and so that I and your peers know exactly what responses go with each question. So if there are two questions, for example, you're going to have two responses. If you do it in the same thread, the first response, title it. You can title it something like DQ number 1 and then put your response, and then DQ number 2 and then put your response. But it's just aesthetically much easier to read. Another alternative is you can create a new thread for each response. But just differentiate your responses. Make sure that we're able to clearly see that your responses go with specific questions instead of trying to write it in an essay form, so to speak. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was attendance. I got a lot of emails this week about attendance, and I want to reiterate this. I sent it in an email, but I want to make sure that it's very clear. Attendance is not taken using LoudCloud. I have no idea how or why some folks are showing up as absent, some folks are showing up as present in LoudCloud. I don't know what the system does, how it works, so don't stress out about it. We do not use LoudCloud as our attendance taking tool. The way attendance in online classes work is that we look at discussion posts on Saturday mornings. If you have made at least one post in the discussion threads, you're going to be counted as present for that week. If there's nothing posted, then you're going to be marked as an unexcused absent. So we document weekly attendance in the eGCC self-service tool, online tool, and not LoudCloud. So do not pay attention. Please do not pay attention, and don't fret if you're continuously seeing yourself marked as absent in LoudCloud or randomly present at a weird time. That's not going to change. I have no idea how that works. I don't necessarily think that many of us instructors know, so don't stress about it. We use the eGCC self-service as a way to take attendance. Now, while we're on the attendance chat, I want to make sure that you guys are submitting your discussion posts on time on Fridays, at least your initial responses, so that I don't mark you absent on Saturday. Just a reminder, when there are excessive absences, the college will drop you from the class, and I don't want you guys to be surprised if or when that does happen. So please make sure that you're posting, or at least sending me an email telling me, I'm behind or whatever it might be, so that I don't mark you absent. I don't want people being dropped from this class and it come as a surprise to you. Talking about emails, when you email me, folks, please make sure that you let me know which course and section you're in so that I can better assist you. Again, I teach 5 classes and over 260 online students in 8 weeks, so this is going to be very helpful. So if you are John Doe, please tell me that you're John Doe in EDU 200 section 501, just so that I know where to look for your information if I need to. So just wanted to put that out there. It's really difficult to have to go and look for student information, and it will make it easier for me to respond to your emails in a timely manner if you tell me which course and section you are in. The last thing that I wanted to mention is I got emails on Friday and Saturday from students saying, hey, I finished week 1 assignments, I'm trying to access week 2, but I can't. So this is not a self-paced course. No course at Eastern Gateway is a self-paced course. Each week's new materials will open up on Sundays of every week. So again, it's very important for you all to read the syllabus, because these are questions that are answered in the syllabus. So this is not a course that you can just move on to the next unit or the next week's work. If you finish something early, we do it week by week. All new folders are opened on Sundays, as you know. And so if you finish early, awesome. Take a break and get yourself together for the following week, and just hang on tight for Sundays to open up the new course content. And with that, be sure you're following deadlines. All right, so that is all that I have for week 2 for CSS 106 at Eastern Gateway Community College. As always, please make sure that you're shooting me emails if you have any questions. No question is too silly. However, as a reminder, like I said in my week 1 video, if you send me a question that can be answered in the syllabus, I will direct you back to the syllabus. So please be sure to reread the syllabus, reread the Getting Started folder in the online course if you need to, and then shoot me an email if there's something in there that is not answered, if you have something lingering in your head. All right, thank you so much for watching this fairly long video, but I do hope that it clarifies a lot of things, a lot of questions that might be lingering in your head. Have a great week.